year, I just say, hey, do it at your own pace. That's the biggest thing, because I think if you try to put the pressure on a young guy to be a part of their community and invest in the community when they're not ready, they do it the wrong way. You want it to be, genuine. And for me, I was ready. That's what I enjoy. Young guys, some guys, I feel like they have to kind of work their way into it, and they'll figure it out, because Coach Pierce is definitely a community guy. So they're going to learn regardless. So by the end of this year, I think people understand what their passion is, because that's the first thing. Don't just give back to give back, and it's great, but what's your passion? And then I think invest your time that way.
Hey Vince, can you kind of take us through your timeline? The season ends last year, and you decide at what point you want to come back.
I said it before the season was over.
Okay, but so you have decided there's no chance for next year. This is it.
Yeah.
Period.
I wouldn't let you guys even say your last one if that wasn't the case.
Okay.
I don't want to do that. And even if I change my mind now, I think I feel like it's too late. But no, this is it.
How'd you know?
Vince, were there any other teams that you considered possibly going to for your final season?
There were definitely other teams called. It was just, like I said, just situations. A lot of the trades happened to where there were more opportunities there, and as pieces moved, things changed. But nothing ever changed as far as my opportunity here. So it was just kind of like a wait and see. It was a lot of highs and lows, like, oh, okay, here's this opportunity. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, this opportunity could fade because of trades, movement. So like I said, I just had to be patient and wait and couldn't and try not to get too excited about opportunities because nothing was kind of etched in stone until it was etched in stone. And I literally was kind of the situation last year as well. So I knew, it was a lot of talk and a lot of things for a week, maybe a day. It's like, okay, I could end up here. I was all over the country this summer, believe it or not, as far as where I could possibly end up. But I ended up right back here.
Yes, being the elder statesman of the team, and this is going to be your retiring season, how important is it maybe to go out with the playoff run?
I mean, that would be fun, and that would be exciting. I think it would be great for these young guys because we tried to simulate that last year for these guys on approach and preparation and how to prepare for it, so it's not a shocker when it hits them. And it's kind of hard to simulate because we were just playing regular season game, and some guys can say, hey, we're just trying to finish out the season, but that would be a great ending to a career, just to get into the playoffs. But for me, I'm just going to go out there and play, have fun, and hopefully we play well enough where maybe we're in the hunt for a playoff spot. So it's so far down the line. I'm just trying to take it in segments. Get these guys into training camp, understanding, being professional, understanding what's asked of them, and then we get through preseason, and then we kind of go from there.
Speaking of that, Vance, has Coach Pierce talked to you about those expectations from you and the team?
Nah, not yet. I mean, somewhat. I mean, guys are just kind of working out and just working on their game, and then he'll start to, probably as preseason goes, and he gets to see what these guys have to offer at this point in time. He'll probably he'll tell you who you are as to this team, what we need from you. So for me, he just told me, I need the same you. That's all I have.
You've been a part of some playoff contending teams and even some championship contending teams. What did you see about this team last year and even going into this year that says, they have some of these kinds of pieces that could potentially, contend for the same?
I tell you what, coming into work every day, regardless of our record, it's pretty refreshing because it's easy to have the record we had at whatever point of the season and guys not come to work ready to get better. And that wasn't the case. So it was fun to come to work and hey, man, I know I got to get to work, even for me, because I knew these young guys were ready to work. Whatever the case may be, we could have been we were on a 7-game losing streak. Guys were in here, and you did not feel like we were on a losing streak. They were still working their butt off, still competing, still arguing at each other, still going at each other. I'm like that sets the tone. So when you're winning, you only know one way, and that's what's. It's a breath of fresh air to see that, because even as a young guy, you come from a high school where you probably went undefeated for the season. You go to college where you might have had an undefeated college season, but you come to the NBA, it's a different ball game. So you have to learn how to lose, and you have to learn how to bounce back and persevere through that. And these guys learn that, and I think that is major for our team early, because whether we hit the ground running and go on a winning streak or go on a losing streak, we know how to have the bounce back mentality. Whether we're in people's thoughts about, hey, these guys could possibly make some noise regardless of how young they are or not. I think that's important for our team because we have a core guy of, like I said, for Kevin, for Trae, for John, for Bembry, who's been a part of it now and understand, like, yeah, we lost. But that means I got to go to work and get better at my craft so we get better, like the next mentality, next game mentality. So with young guys, they're sponges because they want to learn, they want to get better. And I think because these guys all played against each other, everybody's like 23, 24, so it's so weird, to rock around, but they all know each other and they all will help each other.
You talk about work ethic. Is that going to be really kind of the legacy you'd like to leave behind, the one thing you want to impart to
For me, I think I want people just to understand, like, I enjoy playing. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to be prepared for my season. I've been doing it for 20 plus years, so that's a part of me. That's not something I have to kind of motivate myself, or I need somebody to say, hey, man, you got to get together. I don't need somebody to tell me that. I understand how important that is for me. If I don't do that, I won't be here. So that's not the thing for me. I just want to, I enjoy playing. I enjoy putting the work in. I enjoy waking up some morning, can barely walk out the door to get to practice. That just comes with it. But that's what I want people to understand. Like, it's not about the money. It's about, I love to play the game. I love to prepare myself to play the game at this age. And I like for people who, I said this yesterday, and I think that would probably be the theme for me, for people who are my age or older, for them to understand, like, dang, it's tough to do, and to be committed to that. For younger guys, like, for them to decide, like, I don't know if I get to 35, if I get to 38, if I get to 40, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I still have the love and passion and willingness to put the work in. So that's what I want people to understand. Like, this is not easy. I understand that, and I don't take it for granted at all.
How much
last year we saw farewell tours all over the place. Is that something you want?
No.
Expect? You played on a lot of teams. It's something that's going to happen.
Go ahead. No, it's going to happen. That's fine. I can't control that.
Vince, as you head into this last season, has it caused you to be reflective as far as things you've been a part of, games, big plays you've been
every video I see, every question, like, every time it's talked about, it's going to happen. It's happening. Annie asked me, what city are you going to most enjoy or something to that nature. And I'm just like, every one of them. Obviously every team that I've played for, it's going to be that emotional roller coaster from the time you get off the bus to the time you sit in the locker room, to the time you walk out there, to the time it's over, to the time you leave. Everywhere you walk. As far as other cities concerned, like, there's going to be something, because I've had a game where it could have been an altercation that I was a part of. It could have been a series that we lost. Anything. So every I can think of game winners, like, you think of somewhere like Utah. I have no connection to it, but I can remember a game winner or two that I hit there that I'll always remember. When I walk in that building, that's the first thing I'll think of in Utah, and then so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster this year.
Because you're going to stand an ovation in every arena that you go into when you're checking into a game. Take me through that thought process and what not only what that was like, but what that will be like as
I know what it was like last year. Okay. It was like, all right, cool, thank you, thank you for appreciation. I'll be back next year. This year, I don't know. I really don't know how I'm going to feel.
Is your approach any different to games?
No.
This year?
No. I don't want to approach anything any different than what it's been, what I've done. How I prepare. Nothing changes, because I think that gets me off my game, and then I make it about something else instead of the game itself. So I know what comes with that, but I'm still going to be prepared for my job.
What do you want at the end of this year when it comes to that? What do you want to be remembered by, whether it be
that
by
I love
the
to
NBA
play,
or fans or anything?
That I love to play, and and that's, point blank. I know all of the other stuff comes with that, but when I say I enjoyed playing this game at that age, so when I say that, now you can kind of take a trip down memory lane of every avenue you want to go. But I feel at the top of that list, like when I walk away and I drop that jersey for the last time, you like, damn, he loved to play. He loved this game at 43 years old. He still loved to play. He's still working out. He's still in practices like he's 23. That's just me. It's just hard to walk away from the game, because I love it.
Vince, what do you think the team's biggest strength will be walking into this?
Biggest strength. I think the quicker we identify who we are, who we want to be, We'll figure our youth athleticism, super athletic. I think we have a great nucleus and base early, so I think we have some experience. Not a ton of experience, but we have some experience, and I think that's something we can kind of use to our advantage. Play quick, but still play under control early, and then figure out who we are as we move on.
You helped Trae and John kind of make their rookie transition a lot easier last year. What things are you looking to teach? What things are you looking forward to teaching guys like DeAndre and Cam?
It's situational, and and I don't want to say that. I mean, but it really is. It's every player is different. You look at somebody like Trae early, kind of struggled. Look at Kevin early, didn't play very well. Didn't play a lot of minutes. Confidence to becoming a confident player. Both of these guys. So every guy is different, and as we go forward, as we go on, we'll kind of figure it out.
Has it? I know you've been in the league for a while, of course, but is there any players that you're like, say, one of my favorites I love to watch in the NBA?
Now, currently,
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell them if so. Maybe when I'm done, I'll tell them, but I wouldn't dare say that now. No, they're not getting any advantage on me. Nope.
Well, we marveled at Robert Parrish, Kevin Willis, Dirk, Kevin Garnett, and you are going to stand as the guy who played longer than anybody. Is that? How do you kind of live with that? It's a cool thing.
Absolutely, that's what I'm gonna say. I mean, it's just it's just scratching new surface, and to be a part of it. I mean, everybody wants to be a part of history if they can, and for a lot of reasons, mostly good. You hope, not the bad part. You never want to be on the bad part of history, but. Like you name that group of guys, I know pretty much all of them very well. I played against almost all of them. I didn't play against Parrish. I'm not that old. But so I have an appreciation for each and every one of them, what they accomplish. And, I don't know. Stepping on the court to kind of make it official, it's going to just be crazy to kind of to see, when you see that list and you see that cluster of guys, and then you see the next number is 22, and you see me there surpassing guys like that. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's kind of, and I've been asked it all summer, and you would think by now I would have a legitimate answer. I don't. Maybe when it's all over and the season's done, maybe I can say this is how I'm feeling because it's done. But I think because it hasn't happened yet, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out because it's new ground. I've never been. It's not saying like, oh, you make going into the playoffs. So I can tell you the feeling. I can't tell you the feeling. I don't know.
So I mean, Dirk real well, but you say the other guys. I mean, so has there been?
I mean, Kevin Willis is my teammate.
Kevin Willis is your teammate.
Yeah.
But has there been some? And you probably see him around, around. But has there been some good-natured ribbing and some kind of like
last year?
Vince, you got no business.
Last year, especially Kevin. I mean, Dirk and I, we haven't talked. We talked about it, And when I decided to come back, I got a quick, easy, simple text from Dirk saying, "You're insane." Like that simple. So I mean, we definitely have conversations all the time. With Kev, we talked about he was like, I remember y'all giving me a hard time for playing this long, and I said, hey, I apologize to him. I say, hey, I get it now. But I'm just going to enjoy the moment. It's just it's a cool situation to be in, I tell you.
Ben, so much is made of this young and talented core that you guys in the Hawks have built. What do you think is the one challenge that presents itself?
Experience, and as we accomplish different things, let's say we come out and we start 7-0. People start talking about us, and they start saying that we're playoff contention. Can we handle that? I don't know, and because being talked about as a playoff team, now you feel like, hey, we're good enough to compete against anybody. And that's sometimes that's a lot to handle for a young group. So flying under the radar right now is a good thing for us. Nobody's expecting anything from us. They're just saying, I don't know where they put us, and it doesn't matter to me. Either way, I think for our team, our consistency of who we're going to be, whether we're 7-0 or 0-7, needs to be the same. And that's hard to do because when you're coming here with a losing record, sometimes it's the motivation to work hard to get better because the unknown, you're not sure. And we didn't have that last year. When we were losing, we were still positive. And you would think, like I said, you walk in here and some people are like, man, they're just so upbeat. But like, it bothers me hearing people say that because I'm like, what do you, when you're old or you're on a losing streak, you want people to come in with the head down and like, no, you want to upbeat because you know what? I'm not letting the past keep me down. Like that was the energy in here, and we were able to turn it around and actually put ourselves in conversation to potentially be in a seed. Yeah, some people say, oh, it doesn't happen, but that's not the point. Just a couple of months ago, you didn't say we had a chance at all, and it's just the atmosphere and the mentality changed around here. So that's what I hope we can kind of organically continue to do. Because of our core guys last year going through it.
What's your biggest goal for this season?
For me personally? Stay healthy, to be consistent, and try, capital letters, to enjoy my last year. Try. I personally try not to, not approaching it as the last one. Dominique was just sitting there like, just enjoy it. I hear it. Oh, he's right there. So I said, just enjoy it. And it's like, I hear you, but like I still, I've trained myself every year. This is the next year. Like, don't worry about next year. Don't worry about next year. And prepare for it. Do what you got to do for this season. And this is this same approach. So it's kind of hard to kind of step off the track and say, this is your last one, enjoy it. When I still want to just make sure it's about being prepared for the year. I don't want to get in the game because I'm trying to enjoy my last one and not be prepared and not play well. I couldn't live with that either.
From a cultural standpoint, how different is it? You coming in '98, being one way, and now these guys, like culturally, how is it different?
Social media. Okay. It all goes back to that, just the exposure. Like that picture he just took now will be on social media before I can get to my phone to see it. It's just things are different. The access, good and bad. Access, good and bad, because I feel like sometimes because of the social media boom and with it being so accessible, right in our palms of our hands, when we go into a locker room sometimes at halftime or before a game or after a game, we get caught up in what's being said, particularly at halftime. I didn't have to worry about that.
So guys are checking their Instagram on half,
or just looking at whatever. Yeah. So and I think that's kind of a negative to me. Like I wish guys we get caught up in. So you look at it, you hear the negative things that said. Now you carry that into the second half. And it's not, you're not making it about the team. Now you make it about you because of what some guy who's sitting in his bed out of shape said about how he feels you should play or should have played in the first half. And we always want people to speak positively about us, about our game, about it, because we work so hard here, and you want it to translate. Well, some games it doesn't happen just like that. Just like when you wake up in the morning, you think you're going to have a great day, and it doesn't turn out that way. You're like, damn, this is going to be a bad day. But I'm going to try to find some positivity. And that's what sports is about. Like, it just, sometimes people don't take a step back to see it that way, but it is what it is.
What's something you wish you would have known in high school or college or throughout your career that would have helped you better yourself?
Something I would have known. That would have helped me in high school? Say it again.
Something you wish you would have known in high school or college.
Oh, man. Something I would have known in high school. I'm trying to think back a long time. I think most importantly, just I have family values, and my parents always taught me to my please and thank yous. But I think just understanding what it's like to have money in your pocket and still be a professional, and I learned that at a young age. But I think when I say this, I'm saying this for all of us as young kids. And you can't, and at the same time, if I even knew that as a young kid, you could tell me all you want about, hey, you're going to have a lot of money in your pocket, you're going to have access to everything in the world. Okay, well, I'm not going to do this, do that. But when you actually check your bank account and it's actually there, and you actually have access to everything, it's a different story now, because you have to kind of find restraint and understand there's a time and place for everything. And I think that's the biggest thing, understand there's a time and place for everything, because now in high school, it's different back then when I say this, but I didn't have I wasn't able to hang out late all the time as a young kid, and I didn't have money. And I mowed lawns and washed cars or whatever for money. Now I don't feel like I'm like just swipe, Apple Pay, Venmo, like whatever it is. Like so, understanding how to handle all of the success, how to handle the fortune that is now in your account.